Well, I started swimming when I was 6 years old, competitively, but I've been swimming my entire life. And it wasn't until I was about 12 or 13 years old that I got really serious about the sport. When I was 6 years old, it was 1988, it was the Olympics, and me and all my other friends, we always said, oh, I want to go to the Olympics someday, but we weren't serious and we had no idea what that meant. But when I was 12, 13 years old, I really started to show some talent. And that was when I first made nationals, I first finaled at nationals, and I really broke onto the scene. I honestly have no idea how many hours I spend in the pool during any given week of training, because it always changes. I don't only swim to train. I probably do about 50% of my overall workload in the pool, and then the other 50% is cross-training, or dryland, as swimmers call it, which is way more cross-training than any other swimmer probably does. But it's anywhere from, an hour and a half in the pool a day to 4 hours a day, so it really just depends. I probably do more cross-training, and honestly, one of the things that I really like to think about when I'm thinking about my training is whether you like it or not, you're training 24 hours a day. So whether you're in the gym or you're sitting on the couch, you're still training. Your body doesn't really know the difference. So I tell that to a lot of kids and other athletes just to keep them aware that they need to make the right decisions, whether they're at the pool or at their gym or they're out with their friends. When I'm racing, a lot of my brain just kind of turns off and goes on autopilot. What I like to do with my coach is decide a few key points in the race that I need to think about. So, for instance, if it's the 100 backstroke, I might really focus on my start, my breakout, and then the approach into the wall. And then from there, just let all the hours of training just take over. Oh boy, okay. My favorite all-time race ever is the 100 short course meter IM, which unfortunately is not an Olympic event, but it is an event in short course swimming and at World Cup, so I look forward to that every time I swim it. And my least favorite event, hands down, is the 400 IM. I hate it. It's a sprint from start to finish. It's so hard. And it's a sprint, even though it's a distance event, and it's so painful, and I will never do that event again. There are definitely times where I'm not super motivated to get to practice. When it's the dead of winter, it's middle of January, it's pouring outside, and you have to walk out on a cold pool deck. I might not like swimming that morning, but I just remind myself how lucky I am to be a professional athlete. I love being fit, I love being outside, and I get to do this as my job. Like, that's such a cool thing. So I've really tried to remind myself on those days when I'm struggling that I have one of the best jobs ever. I've been training at UC Berkeley for the past 10 years. I started going to school there in 2000, and I graduated from there, but with a degree in psychology, and I've remained at Berkeley ever since, and I have a really fantastic relationship with my coach, Terry McKeever, and it's been a really, really nice situation because I grew up in the Bay Area, and I could still be around my family, but also still be with the coach that brought me so far. I really don't think about calorie intake or anything like that ever, but when I'm in really heavy training or when I'm not training as much, what I actually eat doesn't change. It's just the portion size. If I'm working out 5 hours a day, I'm going to eat a lot more if I'm working out only half an hour a day, but the foods themselves don't change, and it's not like I have so many more carbs or so much more protein or so much this or that. That's never been anything I've really focused on. I just like to eat healthily and indulge every once in a while, and I definitely like foods that aren't the healthiest sometimes, but 98% of the time I eat very, very fresh, healthy, quality foods. Honestly, I have no idea how long I could hold my breath, but I do know that it is probably a few minutes. It depends. Like if I'm just sitting on the bottom of the pool, Probably not that long, but if I'm distracted, I love free diving. So there have been times where I've been swimming with dolphins that I definitely have been underwater for a couple minutes at a time, but I just didn't even realize it because I was so distracted by what was going on in front of me. So I have the ability to hold my breath, but I need to be distracted. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to swim with dolphins a few times, and I've swum with sharks a few times. I grew up going to Hawaii every summer. I have a lot of family out there. I used to live with them, and in the summers, and I spent a lot of time around the ocean, and I absolutely love doing it. And I have some really great photos of dolphins dancing underwater and sharks swimming around, and I just find it so peaceful in the ocean. I first started doing Pilates back in 2000 when I first came to Cal. I did a combination of yoga and mat Pilates, and then I progressed to the reformer and the chair and the arc and the Coraline and everything else. But I've been really intensely working with a Pilates instructor for about 6 years now, and it's been huge for my training because it's all about strength with form and flexibility and engaging your core, things that are so important in the water. So it's been a really nice part of my training. Pilates, without a doubt, has improved my athletic performance. It's really taught me more about my body, and it's really taught me how my body is supposed to work. For instance, swimmers, a lot of times we get so much tension in our shoulders, and I used to get really bad tension headaches, and my neck was all scarred down, and there's just so many issues going on, and it helps me relax and helps me to work on the muscles that need to be working and relax the ones that don't need to be working. I definitely feel a difference when I do Pilates every day versus doing it, once every couple of weeks. Fortunately, now I have a room dedicated in my house to Pilates, so it's there. I walk past it every day. It reminds me to stay on track, and I just feel a lot more in line, a lot more balanced, strong, and it really gets rid of a lot of the tension that builds up through my training. I would tell anyone to try Pilates for several reasons. First of all, it's form with function, and it has to do with applying how the anatomy of the body and strengthening it, and it's really part of your health, I think. It's an exercise that is very, very healthy, and it works on flexibility, strength, core strength, and almost any age can do it. And it's really important that you focus throughout the workout because there are so many little muscles being worked, but it's a total body workout that almost anyone can do. I definitely use a lot of different pieces of Pilates equipment, but I really like the Pilates arc because it's super lightweight, and it's a really great way for me to work on my core strength, which is important for anyone, but it's so important in swimming, especially in backstroke. It helps my body position a lot. But you could do it in the comfort of your own home, if you don't have room for some of these other pieces of equipment, and it's really affordable, and you could do tons of different exercises on it. I loved my experience on Dancing with the Stars. Going into that, I thought I would be terrified dancing in front of a live audience with 20 million people viewing at home, and honestly, it was just so much fun. I loved the training. I had a fantastic partner he made a really big difference. We got along really well, and I love the glitz and the glamour of it. I mean, we really don't have that in swimming, so that part of it was fun, and it was amazing, and I still dream of it. And I was so depressed when I got voted off, but I had a great time. The dance training was so different from my swimming training. First of all, I was vertical, I was upright. Everything in swimming is in the prone position, so that was different. I was on land, I was in heels, I had to worry what my face was doing. I had to smile while I was doing these difficult moves. I had to work with a partner. And it was different in every way, shape, or form, but it was awesome. I spent several hours a day, up to 7, 8 hours a day in the studio, choreographing with my partner, going over the dances and learning new dances. And it was incredibly challenging, but it was so much fun. I'm not still dancing. I want to dance really badly. I just haven't found a way to fit that into my schedule. And one of the things is Dancing with the Stars was so intense, and it had a very clear, very definite goal at the end of all that hard work, or that you're looking towards. And I don't know if I could just go into a studio and do ballroom, just for the heck of it, because I like having an end goal. But I might end up doing some sort of ballet or hip hop, something very, very different than ballroom, while still being dance. Well, the two most important things in my skincare, being a swimmer, is sunscreen. I mean, I spend hours and hours and hours in the sun, and I don't want to be one of those wrinkly old ladies, when I'm 30. So sunscreen is really important, and then moisturizer is so important, because my skin gets so dry, my face and my arms and legs get so dry from the chlorine. So those are the two most important things for me. My role model would probably be Alice Waters. I absolutely love her. She's the owner of Chez Panisse, and she started the Edible Schoolyard program in Berkeley, which teaches children where their food comes from. It teaches them about organic gardening and composting, and eating your vegetables, eating what's in season, eating locally, and it focuses on the obesity epidemic from a very manageable place. It teaches kids where their food comes from, that it doesn't come from the grocery store, it comes from the earth. And she says that she can make any kid love kale. And if you teach kids at a young age to have a variety in their diet and to take care of the earth, take care of their body, I think we will make a lot of headway in battling obesity. I have no idea what I'm going to do when I stop swimming, but I will eventually have to move on. I love being in shape, and I love being active, so it would have to be something in that realm. I don't know if it probably won't be coaching, because I'm a little meaner than as a coach than I probably would like to be, and I don't think I have the patience for it. But something athletic. I find non-sport specific training so important for me, because my coach and we have this philosophy that anything that challenges you athletically will make you a better athlete, which therefore will make you a better swimmer. And so that's kind of how we've approached our training the past several years. So it could be anything from, a jump rope aerobics course to Pilates to super heavy Olympic lifting to dancing. Anything that challenges you will make you a better athlete. I understand why so many athletes out there don't do a lot of cross training. They get so focused on their sport and improving themselves in their sport. But I think that more people would benefit from cross training, because it's mentally great to get out of the water once in a while, or to get out of your sport and try something new. And like I said, anything that challenges you will make you a better athlete. The mind-body component in Pilates training has helped me so much for swimming that it's ridiculous, because swimming, you have to be so present. You have to know what the tip of your head to the tips of your toes are doing at all times, because the water is very unforgiving. It's a dynamic environment, and you have to pay attention to so many different parts of your body. So what Pilates has done for me is it's helped me elevate the ability of my focus, because if I am spending 4 hours a day in the pool, which I did a lot of when I was younger, it gets so easy to daydream and not to focus, and Pilates has forced me to focus, which I apply in the pool.